begin today's info session, we're going to start by defining what Open University is. And so Open University is a program at San Jose State where non-San Jose State students from outside the university can take classes that we offer here at our college, and you could receive credit for those classes. And so when you enroll through Open University, or OU for short, you will be able to enroll on a space available basis and with the professor's permission. Now, non-SJSU students are students who are from other colleges or universities. These could be SJSU alumni. You could be a student who was placed on disqualified status, or just members in the general community. And it is important for me to also say that if you are a current matriculated SJSU student, meaning you are a SJSU student who's currently enrolled in the spring 23 term, you are not eligible for the Open University program. Again, Open University is only available to non-SJSU students. So the first step to starting your enrollment with Open University is to know what type of student you are. And depending on the type of student you are, the process to enroll can be a little bit different. And so I'm going to share my screen of our registration page to kind of guide us through an example of what a registration process will look like for a particular type of student. And as I do that, it will be beneficial for everyone to also follow along. And so on your screen, you'll see a QR code. If you scan it with your phone, it will take you to our registration page as well. Or you can click on the link in the chat that one of our staff is going to put into the chat. The link is also on the screen on the bottom right. And so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. So bear with me. All right, so if you type in learn.sjsu.edu/OU, this is the webpage that you will end up on. Give me a moment as my internet process the page. Apologies on the slow internet, please bear with me. All right, so once you're on this page, you'll want to navigate to registration, which is the fourth link on the tab, on the navigation tab above. And once you are here, you'll want to scroll down. We do have a video of this entire registration process for folks to refer back to if you would like a more detailed step-by-step of the entire process from start to finish. We do have a video here for students as well. And so, as I mentioned earlier, the first step to starting your registration with Open University is to know what type of student you are. And there are three categories that we have here listed in bold. So there is the first-time Open University student, there is a returning Open University student with an SJSU ID, and then there is the other, which is the category for students who have already graduated from SJSU or another college. And so there are descriptions of an example next to each type of student that there is. And so as you are looking at this segment, you can identify the type of student you are by one of these. And so for the example that I'm going to give today, I'm going to do the example of what it would be like for a first-time Open University student who has no SJSU ID. And so step one is to identify your student status, and I have identified my student status. If I were to click on the link, it will take me to step two, which is to get your account ready. And as a first-time Open University student with no SJSU ID, in the box here, it will give me additional steps of what I would need to do to get my account ready. And once I have done that, the next step will be our step three, which gives us the registration instructions. And then in registration instructions, you will see that there are two ways that you can enroll. And again, the way that you enroll will depend on your student type in step one and step two. And so once you have completed your registration instructions, it will go. Your next step would be to check your calendar and payment deadlines, which is our step 4. And so during each of these steps, we will discuss more in detail in the following slides. And as I mentioned, there will be a ton of material that we're going to be covering for each of these. And so definitely take notes and ask questions in chat. And so I will then go ahead and go back to the presentation slide, and I will hand it off to my colleague, Trang.
Thank you, Kwa. To understand you guys a little bit better, we have a poll to up to question. So could you please answer the question, and we will give you a little bit of time to finish it. All right, I'm gonna end the poll in a few seconds, and we'll share the result with you. Thank you so much for filling out the poll. And then, yes, from this poll, we can see that majority of you is the first time enrolling in Open University. And you are undergraduate student. And some of you already have the degree. So thank you so much for sharing with us. Regarding the tuition and fee, each of the semester we have different charge. So for spring and fall, the seminar and lecture, it's gonna cost you $280 per unit. And if your class have a portion is a lab, it's gonna charge you $375. And if an activity includes in it, it's gonna be $291. So just the multiply of each cost to the number of unit that you take. So for the summer, the charge is a little bit different. It's undergrad student gonna pay $300 and $350 per unit, while grad student or post-bac gonna be $430 per unit. Please note that the campus fee is for matriculated students. Therefore, as an open university, you have advantages over the matriculated student that you don't have to pay this type of fee. For the winter, similar to spring and fall, you're gonna pay lecture, seminar, or supervision at $280 per unit. And for the activity, it's gonna cost you $291, while the lab costs you $375 per unit. And there will be no campus fee charge for the winter. Thank you. I will hand it to Christy.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Trang. To access our calendar and note the important dates, you can access it through this QR code here, or you can access it through the link that I just posted. So I highly recommend that you bookmark this page so you can make note of the deadlines that will help you anticipate the actions that you need to take to either enroll or stay enrolled in your classes. So deadlines for adding classes, payment, and dropping classes are especially important. January 25th is the first day of instruction and registration, so please keep in mind that some classes fill up really quickly. So the sooner you register, the better. February 17th, payment is due for students who have registered from January 25th to February 14th. For students who registered after the 14th, so the 15th and afterwards, you have 3 days to make your payment. For dropping classes, and last day to add via my SJSU is February 20th. So very important. After this date, you will need additional signatures, and you won't have a refund that's issued to you. So there are a few other deadlines and details, so feel free to check them out when you have time. As for the wait list, it is active within the first couple of weeks of instruction. So this will actually give you an opportunity to sign up for, potentially sign up for a class that is full. So in the event that seats fill up. So we will actually discuss this a little bit later on in the facts page, and I will pass it on to Mike.
Hi, everyone. Just a quick reminder that if you do have questions, which I see some of you do, please keep putting them in the chat and we will be answering them all at the Q&A session. So as far as the course schedule goes, Open University students can enroll in most courses with a few exceptions. As for selecting your courses, we recommend that when you see a course you like, you email the instructor before the first day of class. You can't enroll until the first day, which will be January 25th in this case for spring, but you can always ask ahead of time. And every instructor already listed will have their email hyperlinked on the course schedule. A quick warning about impacted courses: majors like business, engineering, social sciences, they will have a lot of students in their matriculated degree programs, and they will get priority. So just have more than one course in mind. So the types of courses that are not available to Open University students are internship courses, supervision courses, and that's like lab research with a professor that's not a part of any kind of curriculum, and independent study courses. Enrollment times do vary. Like we were speaking about before, there's a waitlist section, or 2 weeks for the waitlist. If you're able to get an ad code before that time, you are able to add that course. But if you aren't in the course yet and classes are, or people are still figuring out if they're going to keep the course, you'll have to wait those 2 weeks until matriculated students drop and you're able to add the course on your own. So for graduate level courses that meet prereqs, you have to get approval from the GAPE office. I see that there was maybe 2 or 3 of you from the poll, and you'll have to enroll using the enrollment form on our website, because that has to go to the GAPE office first to be signed off. For any students who are taking courses in person in any capacity, you'll have to do the COVID-19 vaccination attestment, and you'll find that on our website as well during the registration steps. If you're only taking online courses, you do not have to do this step. Next slide, please. Here are a few of our frequently asked questions. I handle the inbox most of the time, so this is what I see. Does taking an OU course guarantee admission to SJSU? It does not. You can take Open University to fulfill prerequisite requirements to get into a degree program, but everyone still has to apply, and it's at the discretion of the department you're applying for. What students should expect on their first day of class? Usually just sitting through the first day, and towards the beginning, depending on the professor, or the end of the course, they'll ask if anyone needs an ad code, and they'll hand them out, or if you have to be on the wait list, they can add you to their wait list. How would you clear a prerequisite if you took a course at another university or community college? So every course you can be added to is at the discretion of the professor. And so you would give them a copy of your unofficial transcripts, and they would see that you fulfill the requirements. And if they feel that you're sufficient, they'll add you to the course via ad code. If you haven't fulfilled specific prerequisites, but you have other coursework that the professor sees can cover those prerequisites, they may also give you an add code as well. Can international students take an open university course? Yes, open university is open to international students. However, if your F1 visa or J1 visa is not handled by SJSU, you have to talk to your international student advisor first. Every university handles international students their own particular way, and how they access or how they enter them in CVIS and their coursework their own particular way. So if you're not from SJSU, you need to speak to your international student advisor at your home institution. And so like we kind of touched on before, if you want to add a class that's on the wait list, you have to talk to the professor and they can add you to the wait list. Otherwise, as people drop, you will be provided an add code. Now, I know we talked a lot at you guys today and there's a lot of information and I know there's a lot of questions too. So if we don't get to your question today, you can also contact us by phone, by email, or just on the website. We have a live chat function as well. But since you're here now, we can move into the Q&A. Also, if you haven't put a question in the chat, or maybe you feel more like having a discussion, feel free to also unmute yourself and let us know your question.
Let me address the question about the fee from Lucy. The question is the cost based on what the student is grad, undergrad, or is it by whether the course is grad or undergrad? So is the slideshow in spring, summer, no, I'm sorry, spring, fall, and winter, the charge is by the course, but it doesn't matter whether the level of the course is whether grad or undergrad, but it's by the type of the course, whether it's activity, lab, or lecture, or seminar, it's going to charge at different rate. In the summer, the charge is different for the level of student. For example, if you already have a BA or BS degree, you're gonna be charged as a postbac or a grad student. So whether you take the class in the undergrad level or graduate level, that charge gonna be $430 for seminar or lecture. I saw Sean have a question. Can I?
Thank you. Thank you, Tran. Yeah, I did have a quick question. I am a non-matriculated student and I'm also a post-baccalaureate student. I was looking online at the requirements for someone like me to enroll, and it said that I needed to show up on the first day, talk with the instructor, and then complete a DocuSign document. The class that I'm looking to take is going to be online. So I was just wondering how I should go about that process.
You never been at San Jose State, right?
No, I'm not.
So then you can go to the registration page and look at the option for you to create a student ID. We have the link on the registration website, gonna show you a quick admit button where you can create your profile, and then they lead you to the step to sign up for the class.
Okay, thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
You're very
Just
welcome.
quickly add there from for your question as well. In terms of online classes, if you're not meeting in person, if you let the faculty know that you're planning to attend on the first day of class and you're an Open University student, if your account is not set up by then, in order for you to access the class, they should be able to, the instructor should be able to give you the Zoom link that they will use to, to do their class. They should be able to share that with you as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that too.
The second question about FAFSA and financial aid, for spring, fall, and winter, there will be no financial aid, but for summer, there are limited Pell Grant but you have to contact financial aid office in order to check for the amount and whether you are eligible for the grant. But majority of them, I don't think that Open University will be qualified for any financial aid in any of these sessions.
I have a question from Grant. And I see the question says, needing approval for 200 level classes. Can you elaborate on that? Let me go to that slide really quick. Let's see, where is it? Right here. So GAPE, we should have spelled that out. Apologies on that. GAPE is the abbreviation for the Graduate Admission and Program Evaluation Office. They are the ones who approve enrollment into all 200 level course. So if it's a 200 level course, they need to approve it first. And so again, these are graduate level courses. If you're not enrolling in a 200 level course, you won't need to worry about getting approval from this office. I see some hands. Liliana.
Hi. Yeah, so these forms such as the GATE and the COVID form, you mentioned they're DocuSign. Can are they available currently? Could I fill them out ahead of time? And if so, then do you have to email them to someone, or like how do you go about the process?
That's a great question. So the registration forms, they will not be available until the first day of class. And so on Wednesday, the 25th, you will be able to see the form on our website linked at 9 a.m. And in that form, and that DocuSign form, if you're putting in a 200 level course, there will be a button or a check mark for you to check that it needs to, that you're trying to enroll in a 200 level course. And through DocuSign, it will automatically be routed to the GAPE office. And so unfortunately, this is not a form that you can fill out ahead of time. You will have to do this on starting on the very first day of class.
Okay, thanks. And would you be able to put the link to the website to click on to start the registration process in the chat?
Yep, sure.
Thanks so much.
I see a question in the chat from CJ. Will an OU student be allowed to use the campus facility like the gym? Trang, do you want to take this question?
Sure. Any facility on campus you can use, but there is an additional charge for it. For example, if you want to use Student Wellness Center, I think that fee per visit is $25, and that is the visit cost, but you're gonna have to pay any additional testing or any additional treatment for your visit, as well as the Student Recreational Center. They have the rate for Open University student that you have to pay, and you have to contact that department or you have to visit that center in order to find out the rate. And also I would want to mention that the Open University charge doesn't include the campus fee, and you don't have to pay for the campus fee at all. That is only purely the tuition for the class that you take. I see. Oh,
yep,
go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say we see a hand, Lucy.
I was wondering, because I'm not planning to register in spring, but I was thinking more for summer. How early can we see the schedules available? I just want to check if the class that I'm interested is in there.
The summer schedule, we plan to post it online on March 9th, but there will be more class adding toward close to the summer. So I would suggest that if you want to wait until sometime in April, mid-April, probably you have more class to take a look.
So you are posting it on March, but that may not be the complete number of classes, and I should check on mid-April.
Yes.
Okay.
The reason why we didn't have the full class schedule because the department have to arrange with the instructor, and sometimes the instructor doesn't know until close to the like later on during the semester. So that's when we keep adding class on from March.
Okay. And a follow-up to that is, are all these courses like graded, or can I just attend, like non-graded just to as an observation? I don't know. There's a name for that. I can't remember the name for it.
Yes. We have the option for you to choose, but when you sign up for the class, there is a deadline and there's the form that you have to fill out so that we can select the option to put in your account. We will post those forms on our website. You go to the form section and the form is called credit, non-credit, or audit option.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, audit
Yes.
or credit, non-credit. Got it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, but I have to put a note that whether you audit a class, you will have to pay exactly the same amount as you attending the class and get it for credit. So when you choose to do the credit, no credit, or audit, please make the decision early on, because past the deadline, you won't be able to change it. You have to go with whatever the option that you originally choose.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I see a question in chat from Raina. Are Open University classes different than regular term classes, or are we basing our task search on what we need to fulfill our major requirements? So the classes are not different from Open University student or an SJSU student. The classes are the same, and so depending on what class you will need, you can choose a class as long as it's open to Open University student. You can choose and select whichever classes you need, and so they're not different. And then Vladimir said, "Is it possible to take an in-person course online if we no longer live in San Jose?" Thank you, Mike, for answering the question. And it says, yes, you may still take an in-person course, even if you do not live in San Jose. Just be sure you attend. I see a hand from Gabriella.
Hi, I just had a quick question. So I already have an SJSU ID number, but I just wanted to clarify. I wouldn't have to necessarily register. I just saw on one of the videos you guys had posted that I would just sign up for the classes as an Open University search, correct? Or would I still have to register on the 25th?
So registration opens for all students on the 25th. And so if you already have your SJSU ID number and account, and you're able to log into My SJSU, then you can just enroll as you would normally in My SJSU, again, starting on the 25th.
Oh, okay, perfect. And then the 25th, sorry, another follow-up question would be the 25th would also be the first day of classes?
Correct. So instruction for the spring semester starts on Wednesday, the 25th. Some classes may not meet if they don't have a Wednesday. If a class is only, let's say, Tuesday and Thursday, they wouldn't meet on Wednesday, but the semester opens up on Wednesday, the 25th. And so registration will also open on the same day.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. I see a hand from Galen. Hopefully I pronounced that right.
Yeah, you got it right. Thank you. Thanks so much for taking my questions. So I wasn't sure if I was going to start this semester or last semester, and I registered Open University, and I have a student ID number, but I can't access my SJSU or SJSU 1 because that student number has been deactivated. When I go to re-register for now that I'm taking it, would I use that same number since it's been deactivated, or will it activate on the first day?
That's a great question. Go ahead, Trang, you can take it.
Sorry. You have to use the registration form to send it to the registrar office because they won't automatically activate your account. So somebody have to be manually done. So please fill out the DocuSign form that we mentioned earlier and use your same student ID on the form.
So, and the DocuSign form is for registering for each class.
Yes.
And the link to that was in the chat.
It will be posted on our website starting on the 25th. Yeah, you'll be able to find it, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so, all right, that answers my questions so far, thanks.
Yeah,
no problem.
I think I have to add some more information about the form because I saw somebody earlier ask about the gifts like approval. On that form, they have several approval signature that require. First of all, it's the instructor. And if you are taking the 200 level class, they are live for the gifts signature or approval. So once you fill out your personal information, your class information, the instructor name, instructor ID, and email address, not instructor ID, the instructor email address, after you sign the form and click on submit, it's gonna be automatically routed to the instructor, and then after that to the gifts department. You don't have to fill out anything for the gift, but it's all in that form. So you don't have to fill out another form. The additional form that you have to fill out is the attestation if you are taking class on campus. So there are two different forms, one form for registration and the other form for vaccine attestation. That's all for me. Thank you, Cora.
I see a hand from Lucy.
Yeah, I guess I had a similar thing happen to me where I registered. They gave me an ID and they deactivated my thing because I couldn't sign up due to a scheduled conflict with my work. So who did you say we were supposed to talk to reactivate it? Because I assume they don't give you a new ID, right? They just reactivate it?
Correct. It will be the registrar's office. Maybe a quick question. Have you, how long ago has it been since you've registered for a course at SJSU?
Well, not this spring, on fall of last year, I tried to register for one and everything was going fine, but my work schedule shift, so I couldn't take it anymore. Yeah, but they already had given me an ID, I believe. Yeah.
Trang, you wanted to add on to that?
Oh, no, that's fine. Yeah, that's good. Cool.
Yeah, it'll be, if you're having issues using your login to register for classes, like Trang said, you'll have to fill out the form and the registrar's office will help you with that.
So this is not a form that I can download online. It's something that I have to go physically there.
It would be that DocuSign form that we mentioned earlier. It's the registration form, and again, that form will be available on the starting on the 25th.
Okay.
Yeah. Are there other questions in the chat, team, that I'm missing?
Yes, I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead, Samuel.
Okay, yeah. With this recording here, where are you going to post it exactly?
So the recording, so the recording will be shared with everyone. It really just depends on how long it'll take to download and get closed captionings on it. But we can probably aim for the end of the week.
The end of the week, and you'll send that by email.
Correct. So if you are registered for the info session, then you will receive it, yes. If we're able to post it on our website, we will also do that.
Okay, so I had a phone call and I missed like the first few minutes here. So I guess we go through the website and that goes step by step of how to actually register for classes.
Correct,
Open.
correct. There are, we broke down the step-by-step instructions on our registration webpage. And there is also a video on there as well. It's a 3-part video tutorial series for all the different steps. And so you will also see that on there, yeah.
Okay, now, by the way, I tried to go to the Open University, I think a couple of years ago. I think it was way before COVID. And I have a SJSU ID number. And I created a password and I went back to that to try and log in, but it doesn't work anymore. So what do I do?
If you haven't attended, a course at SJSU for a couple terms now, you'll fall into the same, and Trang, correct me if I'm wrong, or Mike, you'll fall into the same bucket where the registrar's office will have to support you with that. But again, Mike and Trang, if you guys want to chime in just to make sure I got that correct.
Could you repeat the question, please?
So I a couple of years ago, I tried to register for Open University and I have here it is. It's a SJSU ID number. And I got that from Open University and then I created a password. A long time ago, I was able to log in, but this time when I put that login now, I can't log in at all.
SJSU will deactivate your account about every other semester. So if you attend San Jose State more than a year ago, your account will be deactivated. So we have the website that if you have your student ID and there's some question that to identify you, they can activate your account when you logged it in. But I suggest that you do the registration form for this time using the same student ID. And then after the registrar office add you to in the class, then you can activate your My SJSU account.
I see. Okay.
Yeah,
So
they won't keep,
one.
Yeah, it's the same one, but they won't keep your account active after a certain time. Yeah, so they will deactivate. The same thing happened if like after this semester, for example, for spring, you take a class and then when you back into December or next January, you want to log in order to check your grade or print out the unofficial transcript, you won't be able to do so because they will deactivate yourself from the system.
I see. So, but that deactivation is not deleting the whole information that's there, like.
No. Your account, your every record with San Jose State is still there. It's just that you cannot access it. And when you are deactivate, in order to get the transcript, at that time you have to fill out the official transcript request, and then you have to pay for the service. So I would suggest that while you still have the account, if you want to download your unofficial transcript somewhere, you should do it right after you finish your class when the grade is posted.
I see. Okay. Hey, by the way, now maybe I can ask you another question real fast. So the counselors, do I have access to counselors if I want to ask a question about certain classes?
I don't think they provide counseling service for like academic question for Open University student. You can contact our office and I can try to bring any question that you have to my coworker in the either undergrad education.
Because usually these classes have prerequisites attached, right? Now, for me, I satisfy all the prerequisites, but there's some prerequisite that might be an issue for me. That's the only questions that I would have to ask.
The instructor permission code will override the prerequisite. these are the class prerequisites that can be override, but like some class that have the testing prerequisite, for example, the WST, you cannot bypass the WST unless you provide any proof that you already have some similar qualification that meeting that prerequisite. So technically, if you have some class prerequisite, you can talk to the instructor and show, or whatever instructor asks you to show, you show the instructor your proof. And if the instructor okay with that and he or she give you a permission number, you can use that to bypass the prerequisite for the class.
Okay, so that it's up to the instructor and myself.
Only the class prerequisite.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you, Samuel. Hopefully that answered all your questions. I do see a lot of questions coming into chat with some hands as well. Is it Kiana or Kenia?
It's Kenya.
Go ahead.
It's my first time being a disqualified Open University student, or yeah, so I would be enrolling as an Open University student for the first time. And they answered my question, but I'm still a little confused on. So right now I'm looking like, I know I can't register today until the 25th, but I'm looking at the portal to enroll for classes, and like it doesn't give me an option to click on it, correct? So my question is, on the 25th at 8 or 9 in the morning, I will be able to do it?
Yes, that is correct. Yes.
Okay, and then a follow-up question would be, so right now on my account it says disqualified. When will I have a trouble doing it on the 25th when it says I'm gonna be an Open University?
No, I don't believe your academic level should come into it, but Trang, if you want to take it.
Okay.
If you are disqualified this semester and in order to take Open University, you have to use the form, because the registrar office have to change your record into Open University student. So you won't be able to use the link on our website to do the online registration.
So what link would I have to fill out in order to have an Open University?
That is the registration form, the DocuSign registration form.
Because I already got a DocuSign. I believe it was this morning that said if I wanted to enroll for Open University, and I clicked on it and I signed that off. But so on the 25th, I would have to fill out another one.
That's correct, because if you fill out today, it won't go anywhere, because it's not gonna, the registrar office, I don't like sign up student right now.
Okay.
Yeah. So did you fill out with the instructor information, or how do you fill it out?
No, I got an inbox on my to-do list. Like I got a message and I clicked on it and it says, let me see right now.
Trang, this is probably an email that the registrar's office sent out to the DQ students.
Yeah, it says.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, so it says to take spring 2023 classes, you have to go through Open University. If you plan to do so, please complete this form no later than January 31st. So then you click on it and then it asks for your first name, your last name, your student ID, your email address, and then do you plan on attending Open University in spring 2023? And then it asks yes or no, and then you just submit it. Yeah, so that's where like I'm kind of confused on. I did that, so on January 25th, there's another form I have to fill out, but where's my standing at that point?
Pardon me for the interruption. I think what might be happening is she was registering for this Open University seminar that we're in right now.
You know what? You may want to email me the form, and also, I mean, you can forward me that email that you receive it, and I will take a look, and then I will give you specific instruction for your case. Is it okay?
Yeah.
Let me type out my email address right here.
Okay.
Yeah, it's on the chat box, so you can forward that email to me so that I can do further investigation to see what you will receive and what are the next steps for you.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
If there are other students in the chat who are in a similar situation, please message our inbox here. I know that there are very specific situations that each of you may be in that may be kind of hard to address in a 1 hour info session. And so if we don't end up getting to your question today due to time, please send us an email. Again, Mike is the person who reviews our inbox, and so Mike will be able to support your question as it comes in. And so in the case we don't get to your questions today, you can also email us. And so I see a hand from Stefan.
Yeah, just quick question. On the frequently asked questions page for Open University, it mentions a signed registration form. Is that the DocuSign form? Under what if I am not on the class roster?
So if you're not on the class roster, are you talking about the FAQ on the website or this presentation slide?
On the website.
Oh, on the website. Okay. And you said if you're not on the roster, and then what was the question? I'm sorry.
It says, make sure you've submitted your signed Open University registration form. Is that the DocuSign form?
Yes, that is correct. So when we reference the DocuSign form, it will be the registration form.
All right, thank you.
Yeah. I see a hand from Lucy.
Okay, this is my last question. The classes that we take, because I'm already a graduate student in another university, but I wanted to supplement some of the courses that are not offered in my current university, but I would like to know, this Open University will never lead to a degree, correct? Even though you had made the steps to cover all the courses.
Correct. Open University would not be a program to give degrees to students. It's more of, like you said, a supplement. Yeah.
Okay. And then for the GATE, I know that you're supposed to have certain prerequisites. Are those prerequisites only for SJSU? Like, what if I take something that is similar in my other university? Would that override the prerequisite or no?
It is.
Yeah, go ahead, Trey.
Yes. If you took the class somewhere else and that meet all of our criteria, what you need to do is to submit your transcript together with the DocuSign form, so that the GATE office or whoever the registrar office can verify that you can be transferred. The credit that you took can be transferred.
Okay. Would that be also at professor's discretion, or is that like it's a consensus? It's not just the person who's giving the class.
Most of the time, the professor will check that one, that prerequisite that you took somewhere else.
Okay. Okay. Thanks.
You're welcome.
I see a couple questions asking about the form and where to find the form. So just really quick, I'm gonna just show everybody how to find the form. And so let's see. Sorry, give my computer a second here. There we go. All right, so on our registration, on our page, we were at the registration page earlier. To get to the form, you'll click under academic info or under registration, you see a link to forms. When you click on there, it'll take you to the page, and then give me a second while my internet loads. Apologies for the slowness. The link will be right here.
You said
It is the fourth
registration and
bullet.
forms. I can't see it. I can't see it. Minimize this. Minimize this. I can't see that.
Okay, give me 1 second. Let me stop sharing and then let me reshare.
Registration and forms. Is that what you said?
Yes, so you can everyone see my, hopefully everyone can see my screen okay. I know that it's loading, so please give it a second. Looks like my internet is not stable. Trang or Mike, can one of you share screen on the forms page?
It's up. It's up.
It's
yeah,
up now. Okay,
it's up
perfect.
there,
Okay.
yeah.
So to get to the forms here, you can go, you can navigate to registration. It is the last option on there, or you can click on academic info. You'll see it there as well. So the registration DocuSign form is the fourth bullet, and it will be available on the 25th. So it will be linked starting on that day. And so this will be where you would need to go to find the form and to start the process of completing the form that day. Okay, now let me go back to our presentation. And then I see a hand from Alicia.
Hi, I just wanted to make a quick comment. I went through Open University last semester for in-person classes, and I either failed to read or didn't know that you needed to tag into buildings. So when I showed up the first day to class, thankfully some people helped me out, but I then figured out that I needed to go over to the Bussard's office to get a student ID so that I could tag into the buildings. So I just wanted to give anyone a heads up that didn't know that.
Tag in. What do you mean by tag in? What is that?
So, go ahead.
What is that?
I can quickly talk about that, and then Trang, if you can help explain the process. So when we say tag in, so SJSU buildings, in order to access any buildings, you need to have an SJSU tower ID card, and that's how you get access into the buildings. And so that's what Alicia meant by tag in. So as Open University students, you don't have a tower ID card, and there is a process currently being in place right now to for Open University students who need in-person classes, but I'll pass it to Trang to kind of speak about that process a little bit.
Yeah, thank you, Kwa. After the COVID-19, all of the buildings at SJSU are locked because we don't want any other people enter the classroom or the facility in SJSU. So currently, the Bursar office have the access to check for student registration in order to issue the tower card. But for Open University, there was one drawback is that not necessary that you will get the enrollment right away from the very first day of class. So unfortunately, we cannot issue a tower card until we see your official record that you are enrolled with SJSU. And definitely after you are enrolled, you can go to the Bursar office and show your ID, and they're gonna pull up your class and your record, and they will then issue your tower card. Other than that, prior to officially enroll, I think that that's how you would have to tag along with another student in order to get into the building.
I'll quickly add on in regards to tower cards. As Open University students, you don't pay campus fees, and having a tower ID card comes with campus fees, which is why previously in the past, Open University students didn't need access or need a tower ID card to access buildings. This implementation of having buildings locked was recently implemented due to COVID. And so, as Tring mentioned, these are the additional steps that campus is taking to ensure safety for all students. And so there is a process in place already, as Tring said. And so if you find that you are in this situation when classes start and you're not able to get a tower ID card when you go to the bursar's office, just please send us an email and we can work with you.
I need to add some information about the tower ID card. If you have that card since fall 2021, you don't have to get a new one. But if you have the card prior to that semester, you definitely have to get a new one, because like we all have the new function added onto that tower card, such as the chip for accessing the class and the building. So please note on that.
Okay, so oh, go ahead.
Samuel, if let me answer this question really quick from
Oh, yeah.
chat, and then we'll get to you. Grant asked if classes start on January 25. It really depends on your class. If your class meets on Wednesdays, then I believe you do have class on Wednesday. But if your class is let's say a Tuesday or Thursday, you won't meet that Wednesday. Wednesday the 25th is just the start of the term. So if you have a Wednesday class, it will start on Wednesday. But if your class is not on a Wednesday, you won't be meeting that day. So hopefully that answered your question, Grant. And then Samuel, we'll take one question from you, and then we'll get to the other folks who also have their hands up.
Yeah, I was asking about the date there that was on the website where it says registration form DocuSign available January 25th. So that's for this spring registration. If I wanted to wait until the fall, it's going to be sometime in the fall, correct?
That is correct, yes.
Okay. All right, that's it.
I see a hand from Shaw.
Hi, thank you so much. I just wanted to confirm that I know that we had gone over how a non-matriculated student can register as a first-time Open University student without a student ID. Post-baccalaureate students, at least on the website, it says that they have to do a DocuSign process. I just want to confirm that I would have to do that, or I can just go through the registration page and act as though I'm a first-time student without an ID.
So if you are a first-time Open University student and you have no SJSU ID, meaning you've never attended or applied to SJSU before, you will be, the first thing you need to do is create your My SJSU account first, and that would be through our online service called Quick Admit. And Quick Admit, that link to that service will also be available on the 25th. We're trying to see if we can get that opened up on Monday, the 23rd for students, so that way you can have your account ready before the first day of class. So I recommend students who are also in a similar situation to definitely check our website on Monday to see if that link will be available. If it's not available on Monday, for sure, on the very first day of class, the Quick Admit link will be open. And so if you need to create your account and you have successfully created your account and you're able to access My SJSU, you can register for your classes using My SJSU. So you don't need to go and use the registration form. So if you have access to My SJSU and you're able to log in, you can register via My SJSU.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate that clarity.
No problem. I see a hand from Gladys.
Hi, yes. Will we be receiving this PowerPoint through email?
Yes, this PowerPoint and the recording will be provided to all folks who have registered, yes. And
Thank
again,
you.
as mentioned earlier, we're going to aim for the end of the week. All right,
Is this open? Is this open? Oh, is this
go ahead,
Open
Samuel.
University? Yeah. is this Open University, the way that you have it here, also available at the other Cal states like East Bay and I don't think it's like campus, like university wide.
So Open University is available on other CSU campuses. They do have their own version of Open University on their campus. And so if, let's say, you're interested in taking a class at, let's say, at Sac State or Sacramento State, they will have their own Open University program on their campus for their courses.
Oh, I see. Okay.
All right, and then any questions in chat team that we haven't tackled yet that you would like to address? All right, so I know we're a little bit past 1. Sammy, did you have another question?
I did.
Oh, go ahead,
Galen
Galen.
did. So the classes I'm planning on taking are in person, and I won't be able to get into the classroom to get the ad number. But I need to have classes added to my account in order to get that tower pass.
You can ask the instructor for the permission to add to the class, and also on the first day or during the time that you haven't been officially added into the class, I believe that the access to the building is very, you can go with the student, and the student will be in and out of the building very often. So I believe that it's not, there's some inconvenience, but I think that it's not doable, not undoable. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
I see a hand from Gladys again.
They don't have a question, they can lower their hand because that's an option on one of the reactions there.
Okay.
And then a hand from
Hi, I'm
Carla.
not sure. Yeah, sorry, I didn't know if she still had a question, so I just wanted to wait for her. But my question was, are we able to see the spring schedule already out, just so I can take a look and kind of see or be prepared for the 25th on what classes I'd like to add or kind of work a schedule out?
Yes, so the spring semester calendar is available. So I'm gonna go in and navigate so folks can see. When you click on the class schedule, it'll give you a link to search Open University courses. When you click on this link, it will take you there. So for example, I'm gonna go ahead and click.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Apologies
Thank you so
for
much.
the slow internet, but yes, you should be able
No,
to see
that's
the
okay.
class schedule from that link. Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
And then
Thank
just
you so much.
no problem. Make sure you switch to spring 23 as it does automatically go to winter 23 instead of spring. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. All right, if there are no other questions from the group, we'll go ahead and end the presentation here. Again, if you have any additional questions that you think of after today, please feel free to reach out to us. I know that there may be certain circumstances that you all are in that can be very different from other folks who are here today, and it can be a little hard to address every single question. And so please connect with us, and we will help you on one by one. And our email and contact information is listed here. The presentation and the PowerPoint will be shared by the end of the week for all those who are registered. And if you have more questions about just the registration process, again, we do have a video tutorial where we walk students through, and it has more details of a step-by-step guide. And so I highly recommend you all to also check out that video. And with that said, I will go ahead and end the presentation here. Thank you so much again for joining us. We hope you found this info session. Hopefully you walk away with more information than you did come in. And with that, I hope you all have a wonderful day.
So by the way, can you email us when you send us the link for the for this recording, the email address?